Isabel. Welcome to my sofa series.
Thank you so much
How are
for
you
having
doing?
me. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's such a nice way to spend a Saturday.
Yeah, it's a Saturday right now, and someone asked me if I'm working today, and I was like, I'm not even working. It doesn't feel like work. We met how long ago?
I think
now?
5 years ago.
Yeah, we met a long time ago, and we just became best friends ever since, didn't we? And it's always been really nice to have someone who's doing the same thing as me.
Exactly.
And we can talk about our good days and our
And
bad days.
Exactly. I
Because we
come
have
to
both.
you for a lot of advice.
And I come to you for a lot
I
of
know,
advice.
it's either like, what colour do you like, or what did you do for this VAT return?
Oh my god,
It's
yeah.
a mix.
Because VAT is a nightmare.
I
But
don't
we're
want to
always
talk
trying
about
to...
it.
Anyway, we don't need to talk about VAT right now. Asal is the founder and, what do you say, creative director,
She's a
CEO.
bit of everything.
Yeah, Asal is the everything of Susamusa. And Susamusa was set up 6 years ago.
So
Or the business was started 6 years
started
ago.
selling vintage on Depop when I started uni, so like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was just selling vintage for however many years, 4 or 5 years. And through that I learned, it was like the beginning learning steps for the next step. And then I started doing Susamusa, like the website and like
And design.
the designs properly for like the past 2 years.
Yeah, and you've been
So
going
still a
all out with
baby.
it. Yeah. But Asal has one of the most loyal customer bases.
Yeah.
You've got a crazy amount of people posting in your designs and tagging you.
It's so
She's
sweet.
had some of the most famous people in the world wearing her
It's
clothes.
really cool.
Bella Hadid, Bella Vrana.
Bella Vrana,
all the greats.
Bellas. All the lovely Bellas.
And it's just been amazing to watch your brand grow over the years because we've both just been doing it at the same time and have just, I don't know, it's just really impressive to see. Like, we both started from our bedrooms. Now you've got a studio, you've got employees, and it's just cool.
Yeah, it was never in my path to do this.
Yeah.
But I come from quite a business-minded family,
Mm-hmm.
creative family, really supportive. And I always knew I wanted to do something for myself. I just didn't know in what way or how that would look. Always been interested in clothes, always been interested in vintage.
Yeah.
So it kind of just happened.
Naturally and
It
organically.
naturally just happened, and here we are.
Do you find that's the best way for things to grow?
Yes and no. I feel like for some people, okay, they know what they want to do and they will take all the steps to do that and it works perfectly for them.
Yeah.
For some people, they just get thrown into it and then you just, through trial and error, through like making mistakes. I feel like the most I've learned is through making mistakes.
Yeah.
So I'm not scared of making mistakes as long as they're not too expensive or it doesn't affect other people badly.
Yeah.
And I'm taking the L, I'm happy to take L.
And sometimes it is expensive, isn't it? To make a mistake, but then that's when you really learn.
That
You
is
don't
when
make that
you
mistake
really,
again.
really learn. So when I first started Depop, it was like Asal Tehrani, the handle was just my name. And then like 6-7 months in, I feel like I was lucky, I don't know if you feel this, at the time we started Depop, because it wasn't as saturated.
Yeah.
There was a handful of sellers that Depop would like promote and push. So I was very lucky with the timing. My name was just Asal Tehrani, and like a few months in, I was still at first year. My brother was like, maybe you want to change your name in case you're applying for jobs
Yeah.
and you don't want Asal Tehrani and that to align. I was like,
having butt pics.
maybe, or like I had to take the photos myself, and
yeah.
maybe those photos wouldn't have been great for me. I own it and I don't care about it now.
Yeah.
But at the time, so that's when he was like, maybe you should think of a name. So we came up with Susamusa.
Yeah. And what does it mean?
So Susa is an ancient town in Iran, and in Iran, in Persian, we always like play on words. We'll say like table mabel, or in Farsi we'll be like kitab mitab.
Yeah.
So Susamusa is just a play on Musa is just a play on Susa.
Yeah.
Kind of just sounds
It's
nice.
perfect. I love it. So like unique, and it's Iranian
It's
as well,
Iranian.
which we love. What went into the decision to kind of keep a bit of distance between yourself, your personal life, your name, your face, and everything, and your brand name? Because obviously for a while you were shooting on yourself, and it was your body, and never really your face. Always kept it kind of from the neck down, which I do on Depop as well. But then now you have a model, Jasmine, your best friend, and just tell me a bit about that kind of decision as well.
I think I kind of want to be anonymous in this and just work on Susamusa as like almost work for Susamusa, and it's like the brand and the business rather than it being me. I think when I took that step back, I took things far less personally, and I was actually like, I looked at it from a bird's eye view and be like, cool, what are we going to do with Susamusa? Where can I take this? Rather than it thinking it was about me.
It's less of an ego thing at that point,
I think so, and I honestly don't want people to know it's me. I feel like with stuff like this, people might put two and two together. But it's almost nice to be like, who runs Susamusa?
Does it make you nervous then when you do put your face on your brand?
It doesn't make me nervous because I feel like it's always important. Like if someone can listen to this and hopefully take something away from it, then cool. Someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the decision wasn't mainly for myself to like not get so caught up.
I think it's healthy. I think we all have different boundaries with our work and limits with it. And running a brand is very consuming, like emotionally. And if you can set up some boundaries that you know are just going to keep you feeling a bit more relaxed.
I think so, because I feel like up until like a couple months ago, Susamusa would consume my whole life. I felt like all I was known for and good for, and I would base my worth on how much I was working, which is so bad. Now my mum said something good to me. She was like, work is work. Time out, like being with your friends is being with friends. When you're at dinner, you're at dinner. Don't think about anything else. When you're sleeping, you're sleeping. Don't think about anything else. And then when you're at work, and it's really good. Just you work, you hang out, you sleep, you whatever, you go out.
The problem is I just can't switch off. But I kind of love that. I feel like with a creative job that can be good sometimes as well. To be like, I don't know, on a Sunday night. I never sleep well on a Sunday night because I'm so excited about all the things I'm going to do that week. But I mean, it's funny having this conversation with you about not putting on your name on everything, and we're literally drinking with mugs that say my name on.
I absolutely love it.
I definitely committed to putting my name on stuff.
Which I feel like you're in a harder position. I have an easier job than you do because
I don't think one is easier than the other. I think it's just different, and we all can handle different stuff as well. And I'm definitely not shy. I guess you could say.
Which is a good thing. You should
about stuff like that. And I also love my name, and I think sometimes I'm like, I definitely should have thought about not putting my like government name on everything, you know, like safety wise. But it's too late now. But it is interesting to see, like the difference between the two, and that it's like, I think it is healthier for you, personally.
For me, now,
I think it works for you, And like, do you feel like a pressure on the way you look, and do you think that has been significantly reduced by just stepping away from?
Honestly, since like the reason I would take photos of myself to begin with was just because it was the easiest thing to do. Be Saturday morning. I was at lectures Monday to Friday, so Saturday morning my mum was in the beginning take the photos for me, so it would just be me.
Shout out to Depop mums, because we couldn't do it without them.
We owe it all to them. They are icons.
Honestly.
What was the thing? Pressure.
On your body.
At the time, but then also I felt bad because the photos that I was taking, I knew what would look good. I'd wait for like sun, so like it would look nicer on your skin. I wouldn't take it on a cloudy day where I would look a bit grainy. I would like pose in a certain way.
My back hurts for years.
Exactly, but I don't have back pain anymore because I don't do it. My left side.
Still recovering.
Exactly. So, but I love shooting other people. I feel like a massive weight's been lifted off my shoulders, and having all these beautiful girls to shoot, and then even like just the UGC of like seeing girls in Susamusa and the different ways they wear it, I'm like, wow. So definitely taking the pressure off. I don't think I would shoot unless I had to. I don't think it would be me again. I think that's really nice that you can kind of pass that on to others, and then you've got a really nice combination of like obviously Jasmine as a professional model on your website, your e-com shots. And then you've got like what feels like an infinite amount of customer photos that you can use as well, which shows it on different body types and different heights, and how people style it differently. Honestly, and that's so good because how people style it differently.
So interesting.
You learn so much from it.
Susamusa is a brand that you're selling online, but then you sometimes do pop-ups as well with me in London and maybe elsewhere in the future. But how would you describe like your pieces? What's like the style of Susamusa?
I think
S-USA, USA.
I feel like Susamusa is a sexy girl. She's also quite classic. She's timeless. She can be doing everything at once, like going to work, then going out for drinks.
Really versatile.
Exactly. She's a versatile girl, a sexy girl. I feel like it's very inspired by like 90s silhouettes. Kind of modest, but then they'll have like a sexy cutout.
Like long sleeves, but then slit on the arms. I love that. And what are you wearing today?
This is a new dress. I made it yesterday as a sample, and I kind of wanted to get your opinion on it.
It's gorgeous.
But it's a simple black dress. And it's got some rouging here. And
lycra.
middle slit. Yeah, thick. It's like very thick.
To suck it all in.
It helps.
Yeah. Support.
It's supportive.
Yeah.
It's a supportive and
I love
comfortable dress. That's what I feel like is so important, being comfortable in what you wear.
Yeah,
being able to move, you can have dinner and it's like, you know what I mean? It's a breathable.
Well, almost all, if not all, your designs are made with stretchy fabric, right? Is that something that you take into consideration in the design process?
Definitely, because also it's so hard to cater to every single person's different body shape. So with a bit of stretch, you have that.
Yeah, have a bit more room.
Exactly.
Yeah, a bit more flexibility.
But yeah, that's such a good point. Everything. Less so with the sienna shirts, that everything is stretchy.
Yeah, I do the same. I pretty much only work with stretch fabrics. I just think, why would you? Because also it's hard when you're designing, you can only really base it off of your body or whoever else is around you.
Models.
But obviously everyone's so many different shapes and sizes, so to have a bit of extra flexibility on each size is so good. What stage is your business at the moment? Tell me about studio, employees, expansion, stuff like that.
I feel like Susamusa is at a really exciting stage right now. We're looking for a marketing associate.
Who will be your second full-time employee?
Second full-time employee and a freelance.
Apart from yourself.
Apart from myself. So it's a really small team. I feel like people maybe from the outside thinks it's much bigger, but it's kind of me and Anna holding the fort, and obviously Tehrani who does all the sewing, and then I get some freelance help like
pattern cutting stuff, right?
That and like kind of more like logistical stuff like Shopify, website stuff,
and also photography.
Exactly. Oh yeah, exactly. Like models, photographers.
But you have a very small circle of people who you know personally, who you work with. Is that something that's really important to you with your employees? Yeah,
I feel like it's so much nicer when you know someone, but also we're in such a. I feel so lucky that there's so many more people I can meet and will meet through this work, through their work as well, and we can like collab.
Yeah, because do you feel like sometimes we're missing out on like an office dynamic or like
having a really big
friends.
team?
I mean, we have each other and we have so many people that we've met through work, so that's always really nice. But
true, we don't have many office friends.
Yeah, so to I think hire people from different walks of life, and for me, it's like I'm really good friends with like 40, 50-year-olds that I work with. They don't work in my studio, but I know them through work and I work with them. Yeah. And these are people that I wouldn't meet otherwise.
Completely.
So do you find it's a good way of like broadening your horizons and your friendship group as well?
Definitely. Oh, I've met like through Jasmine, my now best friend. We kind of met through work and through Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's funny you say like 40-year-olds and 50-year-old friends. The guy I buy fabric of, Peter, he's like 55 and we get on along so well.
I love that. I think that's so important.
He wasn't that interested. He was like, what are you going to do buying just one roll? He's like, I don't work with small people like you. And I was like thinking in my head, one day I'll buy so many
back.
more.
Yeah.
And now after like 2 years, he will give me the time of day.
Yeah, of course. You're probably one of his biggest customers now.
I don't know. I think he's got big customers.
Oh, really?
But maybe getting there.
You'll be there one day.
One day.
Yeah. So, and you've got your studio in West London as well. Yeah. You've always been based in West London.
Always been based in West.
You're a West girl.
I'm a West girl.
Born and bred.
Exactly. Born in Iran.
Well, were you born in Iran?
I was born in Iran.
I had no idea.
But I've lived in West. I came over when I was 3.
Wait, no, I didn't know that. Your mum brought you over with your brother.
She brought us over.
That's so cute.
But I've lived in West ever since.
Yeah, you are a West girl.
I'm a West girl, but I'm actually open about getting bigger.
She's becoming an East girl now.
I'm making my way to, like, everyone lives in East.
Yeah.
You live in East, all my friends live in East.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for a bigger studio space.
Yeah.
But like it gets to a point that you just outgrow it and you're
How long have you been at the studio?
A year. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But it's time to get a bigger space.
A year is quite a natural time to kind of rethink everything. Because our contracts are 12 months anyway.
Mine's 2 years.
Oh, is it?
But they have so many offices around London.
Okay.
I can move within.
But would you want to stay in West, keep it close to home? Or?
Potentially, but then if I'm getting a bigger space, better value for money, then I would be happy to commute. Because also,
to go a bit further out maybe.
Or maybe east. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Right now, I can walk to work.
Yeah, which is really nice. That's
really
what I
nice.
want. So one of the things that's really important about Susamusa is that everything's made in London, it's designed in London, made in London, and packaged in London. It's all really local. Is that something that's really important to you?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like people always ask me. It's obviously so much harder and more expensive to make in London, but the perks, like just being able to go to the factory in the morning, with the studio in the morning, and just see what they're working on. Or Tehrani will call me and be like, "We're having this issue." I was like, "No problem, I'll come over
right there.
and we'll go through it together." It's just so important. Like I know a lot of brands talk about transparency, feel like they talk about it because they feel like they have to.
Yeah.
But like this, like you should just know who's making your clothes and where the fabric's from and who's packaging and who you're talking to when you're talking to us.
Completely.
I think that's really important.
Yeah.
But I try not to push the whole greenwashing thing. Like making clothes isn't sustainable. I'll be the first person to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully there's thought that goes into it when you buy a piece from Susamusa.
Yeah, exactly.
And you will wear her over and over again. And it's an investment, timeless piece.
Yeah. I guess the way that I see it is it is inherently unsustainable to make new clothes.
Yeah.
But it's a process that's going to happen anyway. So let's try and make it let's try and make the impact that it has on people, on the world, as positive as possible.
Exactly.
I think supporting your local community as well, especially since COVID and everything.
So important.
It's really important.
And I feel like we're so lucky, like the girls who buy from you or from me, the community, like people love supporting small businesses.
They love it, especially since lockdown and all that. I think that people really looked around them and they wanted to support businesses around them. And then I think, do you find this like whenever there's some situation that affects shipping from overseas, or Brexit happens, or Russia happens, I'm so grateful that I can drive half an hour to my factory and pick up my stuff, and I don't have to worry about all these
it coming in from overseas
global issues. Yeah,
that's such a good point.
There's such a long list. The way I see it is there's such a long list of reasons why you should manufacture in England, and a really short list of reasons why not. So how would you say the industry has changed since you first started? And that can be with Depop or just the fashion industry in general, like good changes, bad changes.
Thank you, Ella. How has it changed? I don't know if you feel like this. I feel like it's moving really fast.
Yeah.
Like you look on Instagram and it's just moving really fast and everything's done really quick. Yeah. And I'm nowhere at that pace. Everything's done quite slowly.
That's a good thing though, I think. Yeah, to kind of slow it down.
Yeah, but I don't think that's like a new change. I think it's always been like that, but maybe my eyes has just been open to it.
Yeah.
Now that we're making clothes and kind of seeing the process.
Mm.
But I think what is a really positive change and an exciting change is that people really do care about who's making their clothes.
Yeah.
It's a really nice shift to see, and girls will message me and be like, girls will actually message me and be like, where are the fabrics from, where are this? And I get so excited. I'm really into answering back and having a conversation with them.
Yeah, because people care as much as you do.
Which is so nice to see. So I feel like that's a really positive push, and I think maybe girls are thinking more before buying, not just from us, but just from anywhere, or like for an event. I think people do think twice, okay, do I need this?
Yeah. It's more conscious.
I think so.
Yeah.
I hope so, but I don't know whether that's just the people that I follow on Instagram and people who are around me. I don't know.
We definitely do live in echo chambers, don't we?
Exactly.
And then, so that's the customer side of it, but brand side of it, do you think that, like, much has changed with the brands that we're seeing, let's say on Instagram or TikTok and stuff?
So many new brands are coming up overnight, which is so amazing to see. And like overnight, like TikTok can blow someone's business up within 24 hours, which is so exciting to see.
It's crazy. And when we think about, you know, if our parents had wanted to do what we did,
it would be so different.
When they were our age,
they would be like, okay, let's open a shop. We'll do like newspaper advertising or magazine advertising. Now it's like you can do a video.
It's crazy.
And that can change your life.
And I guess there's a bit of a double-edged sword with that, because before you would have to kind of do another job, work this on the side for ages, slowly build up enough to be able to financially support yourself and quit your job and do this full time. But then I've also seen people go all in too quickly because they get a false sense of security from TikTok or whatever, and they go viral. And like we've all, you know, I think experienced like social media algorithms can be unreliable and popularity.
Instagram.
Yeah, it can be really unpredictable. And I think there's also that risk of going all in too quickly. Yeah. And then being like, oh, I've overcommitted to it.
And I think with business, what I've really learned, it's so up and down. You can have a really amazing month, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can have a really amazing month the next month.
Yeah.
So my dad once said to me, he was like, don't celebrate your high highs so the lows don't really hit you as hard.
Yeah.
And he was like, just pace yourself and just go with it every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, business is so up and down.
Yeah. I kind of look at things with my profit and loss, I kind of look at it quarterly rather than monthly.
Yeah,
because
that's so important.
it just makes no sense to look at it monthly. I can have a massive order from my manufacturer 1 month and I pay for all of it or half of it or whatever.
That's so true.
And then that will set me back that month. I'll be negative. And then the next month I'll be way up because I've paid for the stuff that I'm now selling. So I think you're right. I think to just kind of look at things more longer term.
Exactly.
And not get too...
And it's a marathon, not a sprint.
100%, yeah. And on that, like, how important do you think it is for the longevity of a brand to be really... kind of to have a really strong moral focus on it, or to have a really strong reason like why you're doing it, rather than someone who wants to do it because they want to make money from it.
That's such a good point. I feel like why I've been so lucky is that I've made really, and I feel like you would feel the same, we've made really good relationships with our customers from like Depop. I'd have girls buying, they were the same age as us at the time, and then they'll be like, okay, I'm going to uni now, I need my graduation dress, and now I'm going into buying clothes from you for my first job. So I feel like we have almost grown with our customers.
100%, yeah. I think that that's something that Depop has taught us actually, is like having that really personal one-on-one relationship with customers. You see people's names, addresses,
and you remember people's names.
And sometimes I look at their likes, or I see how much they've bought from me and all this stuff. I feel like it's quite a specific Depop experience, because if you're coming in straight to a website, you lose that. You don't see the profile picture of everyone that's messaging you and stuff. I can never reply to everyone, but I did see this girl who bought a dress at one of the last pop-up that we did, and she bought it for her graduation. She sent me a photo of her graduation,
honestly,
and I was like, I love that. That's like
so cute
for clothes, because we just love clothes, don't we? And so to see clothes going to a new home, to a graduation, which is like one of the biggest things.
You think about what you're going to wear.
Yeah, I think that's amazing.
But yeah, I think the community is what hopefully make us last, and
I think
going in the future.
And I think if you want to start a business because you want to make money from it, when you're having a really bad month, you'll just give up, because you'll be like, I'm not making money. But if you're doing it because you care about ethical manufacturing, or you care about bringing, vintage clothes to people, or whatever the reason is why you're doing your brand, that kind of keeps you going.
Exactly.
Because there are some nights where you're like, I'm so exhausted, or I'm tired, or whatever, but if you have other things keeping you going.
Exactly.
So we've talked about loads of ways that Susamusa is amazing. Is there anything that you like to improve on or change, long term, short term?
Definitely. There's like so much that I could improve on, and it's like a constant process, but it's also like prioritizing what takes priority of the other one. But what Susamusa really needs to work on is just being more representative of different body shapes, different sizes, just different girls. I think it's so important for a girl to be able to see almost themselves in a brand, and I think that is so important, and it's like priority on my list to do.
Why do you think it is so important for people to see themselves represented in your brand?
Growing up, I went to a majority white school. So I didn't really see, this is not related to fashion, but like even when you'd get stationery and it would have your names on it, there was never Asal. Ever. And I know that there should be. I've only met one or two, so for us three there should be.
What's it mean, by the way?
It means honey.
Oh, I love that.
Which is nice. I never liked my name growing up. Only recently I've appreciated it. So I think growing up, it would have been so nice and special for little me to have seen like Iranian girls or Middle Eastern girls, or girls of like thick brown hair and more like relatively hairy. That would have meant a lot. So I feel like that's why it's important for us to be able to see ourselves.
So I'm sure everyone would be dying to get some tips from you, some advice on growing a business, starting a business. What's like the one piece of advice that people really need to hear from you?
I don't know whether it's to be heard from me,
or
but I feel like
in general.
The biggest advice I would give is like being consistent. And like,
that's a good one.
I know like don't give up is so corny, but like be like, if you believe in it, be consistent. Even if you're working every day a tiny bit towards your end goal, or like just a goal in general. Just every day, if you're getting up and working a little bit towards it, it will pay off. It's like, I think I would do a lot of work and I'd be like, why haven't I got to where I wanted it so far?
Yeah.
But like, this is quite a weird analogy, but like imagine like an ice cube and you want it to melt. It will melt begin to melt at a certain temperature, but it doesn't mean all those temperatures before didn't have an impact on the melting point.
Yes.
So like
it's a journey.
It's a journey. It's a huge climb and it's a journey.
Yeah.
And also another advice I would give is like, put it out there. Like I know everyone wants to put the perfect product out, but almost when you're working on it for so long and trying to make it perfect, it's never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
So put it out, even if it's like 80% finished, put it out and you will learn so much from that and you'll go back and change. Like everything we've done has never been final. We've changed everything from like logos, cards, websites, even the product or like the material we use.
Yeah.
So my best advice would be don't wait for anything. Just get it out there.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? Getting feedback from the customers is the biggest thing. Things will go wrong, then you'll learn how to not do that the next time or how to be better prepared.
And I think that customers really enjoy seeing the process and the journey.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a final product, start posting about the journey.
True.
You know, about sampling.
Exactly.
Do you guys like this arm shape, or
exactly.
I don't know what color to do, or like here's a picture of me in the studio. Like just get on it and do it as soon as possible, because I think people are actually more invested in the final product when they feel like they've been along with you on the journey of creating that product.
Completely.
I think that it's wasted time to not launch. Just go for it. I mean, the way that both of us did it, we didn't have a hard launch.
No.
We just kind of gradually, both of us were selling our designs on Depop before we got a website.
Gauging the reaction.
So one of the many big things that's happened to you over the last year or more is that Bella Hadid has been seen wearing your designs multiple times, as well as Addison Rae and loads of amazing, beautiful people. How did it feel when you saw Bella wearing your stuff for the first time? I'm calling her Bella like I know her.
How did I feel?
When you saw it?
Honestly, it still hasn't even sunk in. I feel like I haven't even like deeped it.
Yeah.
It was on my birthday last year. I woke up and it was like 7 a.m. My mum.
It was your birthday, wasn't it?
12th of April. My
oh my God.
mum sent me a photo and she was like, "Do you recognise this skirt?" He with like a wink face.
Yeah.
And it was a vintage silk skirt she bought.
The green
from us,
one.
the green one.
I remember,
She wore, I think, for a Michael Kors campaign. This was like COVID times. I feel like this is when people were making their own. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's cool that she just put it together.
Yeah.
And then it's been crazy.
Yeah.
It hasn't sunk in, and it's just nice to see. And it's cool to see, like, she could have any piece of clothing in the world.
Yeah.
The fact that she's re-wearing Susamusa.
Yeah.
It's
really
Cool.
amazing. Yeah. Re-wearing it like years, you know, she wore your O-ring trousers for the first time and then wore them again a year later. Yeah. In Fashion Week.
Really cool.
It's really cool.
It hasn't sunk in, but
maybe it's one of those things that never really will, because
it
it's
never
so
really
surreal.
will. I don't think I've even sat down and, if I was like, if I could have one person wear it, it would be her.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've sat down to be like, that's...
Because she is the supermodel of our
she
generation, of our
she's like,
time.
I don't know who I was having this discussion with. She's kind of like our old, I know it sounds weird, but like, she's kind of like our older sister. She feels like she could be our older sister.
Yeah, I mean, she's our age, isn't she?
She's our age. And also just like how compassionate and nice.
Yeah, how does it feel to have
conscious.
someone who, she's famous obviously for being a model and stuff, but especially in recent years, become really like, she's become really vocal on like political issues as well, and she just comes across as like a really kind person and really thoughtful. So does that mean even more to you?
I think so.
Who's
Definitely.
got a lot of substance as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's so cool. And then obviously the like domino effect of someone like that wearing your clothes is that then you get hundreds more people like us wearing your clothes.
No, it's been so nice, and I feel like at that point maybe people started taking Susamusa more seriously. It even made me take Susamusa more seriously.
Because it's like external recognition.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you get more articles in Vogue.
Exactly. A lot of press came from it.
Yeah.
But it kind of like added fuel to the fire.
Yeah. Keep it going.
Exactly.
It's good encouragement.
Exactly.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you some questions more about like you personally. We've spoken a lot about your brand, but I think people would be really interested in Asal Tehrani as well. So how do you find juggling being a businesswoman running your business.
You're making me blush.
Running your business and having a personal life and friends and everything like that.
I'm going to be completely honest. I struggled for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I would struggle to take weekends off because I felt bad that I wasn't working, which is so incorrect and not a good outlook at all. In the recent months, I've been so good at it. Like, I take weekends off.
Yeah.
If I can, if there's an emergency.
You're more active now.
I'm out and about. Before I'd always be, you know what, I'm always tired. I'm not even going to blame it on work. I am always tired.
Just one of those girlies, I'm like that too.
And I'm like a sleepy tea girl. I'm not that on going out, which is okay. But back to the juggling question, I have to like set up little rituals for myself, whether that's not sleeping with my phone in my room.
Yeah, that's important.
Just doing small little things. Like, I'm going to be realistic with myself and be like, obviously, I don't think I can go to the gym and do a full-on session.
Yeah.
So I'll go on the treadmill and walk for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And that's just like starting maybe the habit.
It's about the mental thing of it, isn't it? So what are your routines then? Phone, not in the room.
I don't sleep with a phone in my room at night. Before, I literally couldn't sleep at night if I had my phone.
Yeah, because you always think that. And you check it in the middle of the night.
I know, you'd wake
up.
That would be me. I'm like, they can wait. It can wait into the morning.
9 to 5, yeah, definitely. It's hard, isn't it, to juggle?
We're trying to figure it out. But I feel like everyone's in this position. I feel like your 20s, mid-20s is hard because you're trying to have a career, you're trying to be really social and meet all these fun new people.
Yeah.
So trying to stay healthy, sleep, and figure out what you want to do for yourself.
Yeah.
It's a hard
thing to do.
It's a hard time to be in.
What's the hardest situation that you've been in since running your business? And it can be like a personal life thing or like, you know, something, a business decision.
2021 was a really hard year.
Yeah.
For me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was last year. Like, you got it.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
It was a hard year. But I feel like I was, you know what was difficult? Transitioning from Depop, which is selling vintage and buying something, uploading it, and then that would sell, then you'd move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Transitioning from that to designs where you do all the work up front, you could be doing months of work.
Yeah. Not
seeing any result. And like with Depop, it was kind of almost like quick wins. It was instant sales.
Yeah.
So I think that transition was hard, and I'll be honest, I didn't have like a design background, a manufacturing background, so like you were learning on the job, and it is really hard. So I think that transition for me was hard, and I was like, all the time I'd be like, maybe I should just stick to vintage. Like, what am I doing? Like, who do I think I am trying to make my own pieces? Let me just stick to vintage. So I would have those doubts a lot.
I guess the thing is that you'd gotten to the point where it was more instant gratification at Depop because you've been doing it for, at that point, maybe 4 years. Yeah. So when you were having that struggle of comparing your website to Depop, that's because you've been doing your Depop for 4 years, so you would upload something and it would sell. Yeah. But then with your website, you kind of had to not start all over again, but you know, it was a different you were at a different stage with it. Exactly. And so each year that goes on, you'll be able to just upload stuff and it will sell, you know. And what kind of made you decide to just move away from Depop?
I love vintage, and I really want to still do Depop.
Yeah.
Just because I love buying vintage and selling vintage. I'm just trying to figure out how to do both.
Timing wise.
Exactly. I think in the beginning I was trying to put in all the hours that I would put on Depop anyway into the website, and I couldn't sustain both, and I wasn't doing either of them well.
Yeah.
So I was like, I
don't agree with that. But
it felt like I wasn't. It felt like I wasn't doing either well, and I wasn't giving them the love and attention they both needed.
Yeah. It's like children.
Exactly that. It's like I got a new child, which was the website, which was taking up all my time. So
you got rid of the old child.
I didn't give as much attention to the old child, which will always be my child.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure it out. Like, hopefully,
do you think you go back
100%.
Really?
I will.
Yay! Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yeah, definitely. For like fun drops, or like when I go to Athens, I get such cute pieces. I would love to put that.
And the dead stock as well, because you find that Depop's quite time consuming because you're doing one set of photos and one listing and selling one item with your website. you're doing one set of photos in one listing and you can sell 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
And deadstock's kind of like a nice in between, right?
Exactly.
And you are quite well known for your deadstock as well.
The trousers.
I
was lucky with finding the trousers.
Yeah. Well, some call it luck. I would say that it's a lot of hard work and
luck and just building relationships.
Yeah.
Like I said, people don't give you the time of day in the beginning.
No.
Especially when they probably look at me like, what does this girl?
Especially guys.
Exactly. And I have had that so many times. Like, what's this 20-year-old girl doing here trying to buy £3,000 worth of stock from me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, take me seriously.
But it's funny, like they won't take you seriously until you're like, okay, I'll buy all of them.
Yeah.
And they'll go, you don't want all of them.
I was like, no, I'll buy all of them.
I'll buy everything that you have.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's
And then they're
happened
like,
to me so many
okay,
times.
maybe she's like serious then.
Yeah.
I think that sadly, with older men or men in general, money is the thing that really like makes them take you seriously. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
And if you're the person buying it, buying all their stock, then they kind of respect you a bit more, you know.
Crazy. Or like even like loading the car, they're like, don't worry, someone's gonna do it. I was like, no, I can help. Like you make it quicker.
I
I'm
haul
carrying the
clothes around
boxes
all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I can handle it.
Or they'll be like, let me take that off you. I'm like, no, I'm good. I can take all of this.
So if you're at, let's set the scene, you're at a party in West on a Friday night. Usual crowd, but there's some new people in there. You're talking to one of the new people and they ask you what you do. What do you tell them?
What do I tell them? It's weird. I struggled for a while to be able to tell. Even like I think in the past 6 months, I can now say.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to say to people. I'd be like, oh, I run a clothing brand. I would really struggle to get the words out. Then one of my friends would look at me and be like, would say it for me.
Yeah.
Now I just say I just run a small clothing brand.
Yeah.
In West London.
And did you struggle with saying it because you didn't want to gas yourself up too much, but you don't want to underdo it either?
No, it wasn't that. I think for a while I didn't even consider myself as a businesswoman. Just because I was like doing it for fun and kind of one thing led to another. Yeah. Now I maybe will say that for myself, but I won't. I struggle to be like, yeah, I'm a businesswoman, or yeah, I run Susamusa. I still find that hard to say, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And where it comes from.
You're very humble, though. I think maybe that's why.
No, I don't even know if it's that. Maybe I'm kind of like, what are you doing, honey? Like, what even are you?
No, I can understand that though,
but people are interested.
They're really interested.
They're interested, like, show me your Instagram, what do you make, what kind of clothes?
And when they see, like, either when you show them your Instagram and they see, like, actually how successful you are, or if sometimes I have this, like, my friend will be next to me and she'll take over and
they will gas you up, that's what happens.
How do you find that people react to it, guys and girls? Like,
really cool. Girls everyone's, like, really excited and really supportive. Everyone's just really sweet and supportive, but then it's so interesting to find out what other people are doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when it's a complete different pathway.
I love it. I love being like, tell me the office drama, because I don't have any. Like, honestly, I need to hear the tea of like,
that's so true.
With who at your office, and like, what did your boss say to you last week and stuff. I feel like it is interesting.
It is
because everyone does such different stuff.
Everyone does such different jobs.
Do you ever have negative reactions to people, like either, I don't know, just stuff? Bad reactions to you saying what you do?
I haven't so far.
That's good.
I haven't so far. Have you?
No, I get quite random reactions from guys sometimes at parties. Like, they'll just try and like give me a pep talk on what I should be doing with my business. Okay. Or like, how are you going to take it to the next level? Like, which I'm going to ask you in a second, but this is an appropriate context, I would say. But they'll be like, how are you going to make it huge? How are you going to make it global?
Maybe I don't want to.
Well, I'm like, I guess.
Be there right now.
Yeah, like, I'm not always looking to, like, the next huge thing. I'm just enjoying it.
That's so important.
I feel like guys have a very different mindset and stuff like that. Or some guys do, at least. Yeah. So sometimes they can be a bit. Or they'll just ask me how much I make.
That's rude.
Which is a bit like.
I think people would be surprised with. I think people would be surprised with how much outsenses we have.
Yeah. You know? I think people either think we make way more than we do, and we're like rolling in it and living a life of luxury. We have very comfortable lives, obviously, but or they think we make, I don't know, less than we do. I'm not really sure. It's really hard to see how people perceive us. Yeah, it's always hard for everyone. It is hard, you know. But I'm also like, the people who know me and I love and care about, they know me for me, and that's all we really need. And financially, as long as you can pay for your studio, pay for your employee salaries, because do you find it is a lot of pressure, like having someone else's rent rely on you?
Completely, or even Bahani and everyone who works at the sewing studio. I'm like, I can't have a lazy week really, because we need to be selling to keep up with them. She was working, when I first met her, she was working with other people as well, and it took a year and a half to convince her to be like, can you just take my orders? And I was like, we made a contract. I was like, I will be able to provide however much you need. With sales and orders, we can do that. But that was a big commitment.
Do you find that it can be hard at first to kind of get your head around delegating some responsibilities? Was it difficult when you get someone new in?
Yes, definitely, because you've had control over everything, but actually people know their job better than you. I will put my hand up and be like, I'm not best at this. Why I'm getting a marketing person is because they know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
They would have studied it.
Exactly. So I think it's really important to be like, there's people who are smarter at me at this role, identifying your strengths. What do you get at, and work on that, and if you can afford to, hire people.
I think it's a really important part of growth as a business. There's only so much you can grow if you're doing everything.
Exactly. You hit like a wall.
And people bring new perspectives, like
completely
you said.
Fresh ideas.
Last question, because we've been talking for
ages,
almost an hour
now. Talk all day. We talk forever,
and we haven't even caught up yet. We've come straight into it. Do you have any goals right now for yourself and for Susamusa that you want to kind of see happening in the next few years?
Definitely for Susamusa. I feel like it's grown organically the past few years. I would love to hire more people, grow the team, grow the community, meet more of the community, do pop-ups abroad, put out more designs, and just trying to improve every little step. And just grow it slowly. I always say, grow it one customer at a time.
That's a really good way of looking at it. I think you taught me that as well. To just kind of give each person the best experience and just grow it one person at a time, and the rest will just follow.
Exactly.
And for your personal life, anything that you want to do?
There's so much I want to do.
You moved out of home.
I moved out of home, down the road.
That's quite a big move.
That was a big move, and I love living alone. Just get this sounds so corny, but honestly, getting to know myself more. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like we're really at that age right now. I love being 25 so much. I haven't mentioned that you're 25 yet.
25.
But I love being 25 and just really getting to know myself and knowing what I like, what I don't like.
Exactly.
How I want to spend my time.
It's how you want to spend your time, who you want to spend your time with. I want to travel more, take holidays. I want to go back to Iran so bad. And see all my family. And just spend a month just floating around.
Oh my god, and eating
amazing food. Taddy, meeting new people. I love just when I get back to Iran, I'm I really feel at home. I feel really safe and really.
And when was the last time you were there?
5 years ago.
Wow.
Such a long time.
Probably just before I met you.
I think I did my last trip that summer.
Wow. Well, I think that's everything I wanted to ask you.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you wanted to mention? Anything that you've got coming up? We've got
the dress. We'll see when we can release her.
We need to do another pop-up soon.
But I appreciate you having me on. I love talking to you.
Asal's my first guest. I wouldn't have anywhere else. I wouldn't have anyone else.
You wouldn't have anyone else.
Anywhere else either. It's lovely to have you back in the studio.
I got emotional coming. I'm just so happy to see this. It's so nice. I love you too.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show or the series or whatever I'm going to call it. And I love you. I think you're amazing, and can't wait to see what happens over the next few years.
Thank you so much.
Perfect.